Penguin Random House Audio presents Robert B. Parker's Little White Lies by Ace Atkins. Read for you by Joe Mantegna. Chapter 1. Dr. Silverman thought you might help, Connie Kelly said. She said you're the best at what you do. I do many things for Dr. Silverman, I said, although my chosen profession is the least important of them. So I take it you're more than friends? I nodded, adding water to the new coffee maker sitting atop my file cabinet. I'd recently upgraded from Mr. Coffee to one of those machines that used pre-measured plastic cups. I placed my mug under the filter, clamped down the lid, and returned to my desk. Demonic hissing sounds echoed in my office. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? God, Connie said. I feel like the biggest idiot in Boston. I wouldn't worry about that. Why? That's quite an elite club, I said. That line stretches all the way from Mass Ave down to Mattapoisett. I thought I loved him. Did he say he loved you? Of course, she said. That's how I found myself back in therapy. I haven't been to see Dr. Silverman for years. I thought I was cured. Dr. Silverman might say therapy isn't a cure, I said. It's a process. She's a very intelligent woman. I gave Connie a big smile, letting her know I echoed the sentiment. When the hissing and spitting ceased, I retrieved the mug and a carton of milk, a few packs of sugar, and a clean spoon. I set them on the desk near her and returned to my seat. I've worked a lot of unusual jobs, I said, but I have to admit, helping with relationships isn't my specialty. I don't want help, Connie Kelly said. I need to know who he really is. You mean deep down? I know he's a phony, a liar, and a two-timing, backstabbing son of a bitch. Yikes. She busily added sugar and milk to her coffee with shaking hands. Despite her mood, Connie Kelly was dressed in a white, sleeveless silk top with a black pencil skirt adorned with chrysanthemums and a pair of black open-toe heels that highlighted her shapely calves. Her toes had been painted a festive red. As true as that might be, I said. Wait, she said. There's more. Being a trained investigator and a master listener, I waited. Pleasant city sounds drifted up from Berkeley Street on a cool, almost fall-like breeze. I leaned back in my chair, resting my hands on my thighs, still dressed in a sweaty gray t-shirt and running shorts. I had intended to check my mail, not meet with a client, but she'd been there waiting before I opened the door. He has $260,000 of my money, she said. He swindled it from me and then disappeared. I withheld from snapping my fingers and saying, now we're talking. Instead, I nodded with grave understanding. The promise of money made me quite attentive, especially after a slow summer and losing my apartment and all my worldly possessions in a recent fire. I don't even know if M. Brooks Wells is his real name. That name sounds familiar, I said. Should I know him? Are you a member of many social clubs? Does the corner bar stool at the Tennessee Tavern count? Hardly, she said. When we were together, he seldom passed on a charity event or dinner invitation. Come to think of it, I never saw him pick up a check. People loved being around a guy who got his face on TV. Actor? Worse, she said. Pundit. She ran down the names of several cable news channels where Wells had appeared as an expert. I inquired about his area of expertise. He said he was in the CIA, she said. He spoke on terrorism, military affairs, politics, mainly how we'd failed to keep our country safe. He was a very popular speaker after the marathon bombings. He said the current administration and their liberal policies had failed us. How, when, and under what pretense did Mr. Wells take your money? Connie let out a long breath and reached for the coffee with both hands. She sipped and with great care returned the mug to the desk. It's so naked and awful, she said. It was 2 months ago. Real estate. Let me guess, I said. A foolproof investment? Land up near Walden Pond, she said. He said he'd hunted there as a boy, and the place had given him great solace. The only thing I knew people to hunt around Walden Pond were rats. Well, I didn't ask many questions, Connie said, shaking her head, her eyes growing moist. I didn't ask him anything at all. I met very few of his friends and no family. Love is blind, I said. I toasted her with my mug. She smiled for the first time since entering my office. Bryn Mawr, English. You and Kate Hepburn. I reached for a yellow legal pad and my pen. What is it that you'd like me to do? I want you to run a background check on him. I shrugged. You can do that online. You don't need me. And, she said, I want my goddamn money back and his ass hanging out to dry. Ah. I wrote down a few notes, taking care with the details about his ass drying out. I put down the pen and drank some coffee. After running 5 miles, I was having fantasies about stopping off at Cane's for a couple of old fashions to replenish my carbs. I'm $400 a day, I said, plus expenses. She didn't flinch and instead reached into her purse for a checkbook. The checks were sandwiched between handsome alligator covers. I'd be glad to pay for a week in advance. I don't know how long it will take, I said, and I can't promise any legal action or justice, although I do know a very competent and very mean red-headed attorney. I understand. Just the facts, ma'am. The Bard and Joe Friday? I am one literate son of a gun. I heard you often amuse yourself. Can't put anything by old Doc Silverman. Shall I tell you everything I know about M. Brooks Wells? I nodded. I don't know much, but I do think he might be dangerous, she said. Very dangerous. I think back on things he told me, and they make me shudder. He confided in me that he's killed many men. I shrugged and thought about flexing my biceps or showing off the .357 Magnum I kept in my right-hand drawer. But doing so might seem gauche to a gal from Bryn Mawr, so I just listened. I asked for it, she said. We met each other through an internet dating site. He told me that after Vietnam, he joined the CIA and then went on to write books and produce movies. I saw him several times on television, so I trusted he was telling me the truth. Do you have a photo? She reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of a man in his 60s with silvery hair and a saltwater tan, wearing expensive duds. Starched white shirt wide open at the throat, navy blazer with brass buttons. Connie Kelly was seated beside him at some waterfront restaurant. They were laughing and looked very happy. I didn't wish to judge, but he looked a bit long in the tooth for her. I wanted a tall, successful, and interesting man, someone who liked to travel and took time to enjoy sunsets. Pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? I should have said honest, but ran out of room on my profile, she said. I guess I left the door wide open for this kind of thing. My husband left me 2 years ago for a flight attendant from Dallas. I am not what you'd call a stunner, but Brooks made me feel very beautiful. I do know I'm smart and very good at what I do. What do you do? I work as an administrator for Jumpstart, she said. Are you familiar with the organization? Very, I said. They do great work. Do you have children? She shook her head. She didn't touch the coffee again. But she ripped out the check and dropped it on my desk. Let me see what I can do. She smiled again. You're different than Dr. Silverman described you. Bigger, more stunning, quieter, she said, more self-contained. I tried to put that on the business cards, I said, but ran out of room. Chapter 2. I drove home to my new digs in the Charlestown Navy Yard and made breakfast. As I ate 2 poached eggs with a side of locally cured bacon from the public market, I pulled up YouTube clips of M. Brooks Wells doing his thing. It was liberating doing my job in a terry cloth robe while munching on bacon. I wondered why I didn't begin every day like this. Skip the workouts, head right to the breakfast meats and sleuthing. Pearl.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?